What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Logan Paul confirmed for Wrestlemania, Drew McIntyre contacts an AEW star, a shocking surprise for the 2020 Hall of Fame, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Now, our first story looks at Logan Paul confirmed for Wrestlemania. There's big news concerning popular YouTuber Logan Paul and his possible involvement with this year's Showcase of the Immortals. As detailed in our earlier news video, Logan is scheduled to appear on the 2nd April edition of SmackDown during Sami Zayn's red carpet event, where he plans on debuting the trailer for his new documentary. Zayn seems to think that Logan will help him in proving the WWE is conspiring to hold him back. The WWE began building this angle up on social media after Zayn tweeted the following message to Paul. "Hey man, I noticed you started following me on here. Check your DMs. I sent a bunch of raw footage that my documentary crew has collected over the past few months. What you saw was the tip of the iceberg. No one understands how bad WWE has it out for me. Judge for yourself." Logan replied, "Yeah, I'll check it out. You might be onto something." Reports are now coming in that Paul will not only appear on SmackDown, but he'll appear at Wrestlemania. According to Ringside News' Steve Carrier, a lot of people are wondering what Logan Paul will do on SmackDown next week. We're wondering what he'll do at Wrestlemania. On that note, we've been told that Logan Paul is currently booked for Mania. Dave Meltzer commented on the Wrestling Observer Radio about what role to expect from Logan at Mania. In that one, Logan Paul is going to be involved in the match. I don't know if he's a referee or what, but he's definitely involved. The idea is that Bad Bunny on Saturday and Logan Paul on Sunday are your big celebrities. It seems unlikely that Paul will wrestle there, as there's been no talks of him training for professional wrestling and there's been zero build-up for Paul working a match. But if he works as a referee, will he play a heel? Whatever the case, Logan's presence should add some eyeballs to the Sami Zayn vs Kevin Owens bout, a match that fans have seen many times but never at WrestleMania. Is Logan Paul the type of celebrity the WWE needs for adding star power to WrestleMania, or does it seem like a bit of a waste of money? Next up, Drew McIntyre messages an AEW star. The wrestling world is still praising Dr. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa's Lights Out match from the 17th March edition of Dynamite, and now Britt Baker has revealed some big names contacted her afterwards to congratulate her on the bloody and brutal bout. Drew McIntyre messaged me and I was really excited about that. Oh my gosh, there were so many people. Trent7, who I think is one of the funniest people on the planet, messaged me. I had a nice message exchange yesterday with the other role model, Bailey. She's one of my favorites. I'm literally a fangirl for her. The wrestling world is known for being a close-knit community regardless of whether wrestlers work in different promotions. It's good to see wrestlers recognizing and encouraging others for outstanding work, and you can be certain that the various accolades inspired Baker to continue her fantastic work in AEW's women's division. Next up, the WWE's plans for a surprise Hall of Fame induction. Now, the 2020 Hall of Fame ceremony was cancelled due to the coronavirus, but had it happened, they had unusual plans for the night. In fact, you won't believe the surprise plan the WWE had in 2020 for its Hall of Fame ceremony. Speaking on Busted Open Radio, Shaw Waltman revealed that Eric Bischoff would have been a surprise inductee in 2020 when the New World Order was inducted. Of course, that didn't happen, and ATM Eric is getting inducted on his own as part of the 2021 class. Waltman added, "I'm really glad they're putting Eric in. Speaking of that, we were going to surprise him last year. He was actually going to go in with us. I'm glad they didn't try to do that, because a person should know ahead of time, not just show up and go, 'Hey, by the way, come on up here and get your ring.'" Things seem to have worked out even better for Bischoff, as he's being honoured on his own for his many contributions to pro wrestling. While the case can be made that he deserves to be included in the NWO's induction, as after all he created the group and served as its heel authority figure, it's good to see Eric finally get in. You may recall that some fans and figures in the wrestling industry were disappointed when Bischoff wasn't included. In fact, AEW announcer Tony Schiavone went even further, going off on Vince McMahon during a 2020 episode of the What Happened When podcast. Well, Eric got effed over once by Vince McMahon this year, so why wouldn't Vince F him over again? And I hope that I'm working with AEW until the day I die, because once it's all over with, my family has been instructed that if they want to induct me in any way post-mortem, the answer from the family is no. I'm pissed off because Eric is not part of the NWO into the Hall of Fame, and I'm pissed off because Eric got effed over by Vince McMahon. Not Bruce Pritchard, who's our friend, who's a good guy, straight up guy, but by Vince McMahon. Tony's shoot went even further, with him looking at Bischoff's brief run in the WWE as SmackDown Executive Director for Creative. You know, when everybody knows that Eric was brought in just so he could get fired, and that effing sucks. I know it, and I'll guarantee you that I'm right, and the fact that he wasn't put in the NWO Hall of Fame into the Hall of Fame with the NWO confirms it. There's no word on whether Schiavone has changed his opinion of Vince McMahon now that Bischoff is entering the Hall, but do you think Schiavone overreacted, or was he justified in defending his friend against a seeming snub? And finally, Murphy calls out a WWE superstar for WrestleMania 37. A WWE superstar, Buddy Murphy, hasn't been wrestling much, but that hasn't stopped him from setting his sights on an appearance at WrestleMania 37. Seth Rollins' former disciple recently called out a superstar who has been off television for some time. He tweeted, "Wanna steal the show at WrestleMania?" tagging in Aleister Black. As reported earlier, Aleister Black was reportedly shelved due to minor injuries, but he's been seen at the WWE Performance Center, a sign he could be back soon. Fans will likely recall Murphy and Black's previous program that featured them in some action-packed brawls that showcased their skills and chemistry together. A Murphy-Black feud could be a good way to get both men back into the spotlight and perhaps even lift them from the mid-card they've been stuck in. Would you guys like to see this match? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.